you guys, this is Ms. Richardson. This is for the 7th grade accelerated math class. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. You got a little extra time to rest, and hopefully you are ready to jump into some math lessons this week. So before you really got going into some heavy content, I wanted to go over some of the lessons with you and show you how to navigate through the Canvas course. So I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so my Canvas course is going to look a little differently than yours, but if you check out, hopefully you all will check out the What Do I Do This Week module. It's the first thing you do when you log in on the first day of the week. And I list for you everything I need you to get finished through this week. So I am asking you guys to look at the scale drawing section this week, angles and triangles, and then by Friday, I need you to take the mid-module check. All right. Now, if you notice, there's several different icon symbols here. So this looks like a link. So basically that just means that this is going to be your lesson. This is going to be several pages for you to go through. You need to read all of the pages. You need to click on all of the interactive tools. You need to do all the practice problems, and you need to watch the videos. So then if you look beneath it, we have the exact same name, exact same notation, except for now I see a rocket ship. So that is where you're actually going to answer questions over scale drawing, and you're earning points toward your grade. All right, so you're going to have a formative assessment after most sections, not all. For example, if you look at angles and triangles, you don't have questions directly after that section. However, there are questions in your mid-module check over that section. So it's not like you are going to be held responsible for it, and questions over angles and triangles are on your unit test as well. So, you know, even though you may not have a formative assessment right away, don't think, oh, well, this doesn't really count, I can skip that section. So make sure you don't skip any sections. Oh, my lights just went out. All right, so let me go through some scale drawings with you. Now, I have planned on you guys spending 2 days in scale drawings. I am going to actually give you some supplemental material over scale drawing. So not only are you going to go through the lesson that I'm about to show you and take the formative assessment, on Wednesday, I want you to look at I'm going to give you a presentation, and I'm going to make a video over a couple of more problems from scale drawings just to give you a little extra practice. But if you go into the Canvas course lesson, this is what you'll see. Obviously, we have some houses. We have some blueprints of houses, and it gives us a scenario about JJ. Him and his family are moving across town, and so he's going to start dealing with some scale drawing, some floor plans. So make sure you read through every sentence, every paragraph, everything that you see. Make sure you're not scanning, you're actually reading for understanding. On the first page of each lesson, you'll get some lesson objectives, or sometimes they're called essential questions. That tells you what you should accomplish throughout the lesson. So on the last page, you need to go through these individually and make sure, can I really use ratios to create scale drawings? Can I compute lengths and areas from scale drawings? Can I solve problems involving scale drawings? If you can't say yes to all of those questions, then you need to go back through the lesson. Now, this Canvas course tells me about how much time you should spend on each lesson. So this lesson is about a 45-minute lesson. So if you reach out to me, which, you know, of course you can always reach out to me, but if you tell me, you know, I didn't understand scale drawings, I'm not good at the questions, I don't understand, and I look at Canvas and I see that you spent 5 or 10 minutes on this lesson when really you should take a lot more than that, that's the first thing I'm going to do, is tell you that you are rushing through the lessons and you really need to take your time and go through them slowly. All right, so when you're done with this page, usually there's a next button here at the bottom of this page, which obviously this one doesn't have one, but most of the time you'll see a next button here. Don't use that button. You're going to stay in the module, so you want to always go use the forward arrow button to continue to the next page. This is 1 of 6, so when you change pages, make sure you're on page 2 of 6. All right, so we're going to finish the scenario about JJ and his scale drawings. It says that he wants to, his room is 10 feet by 12 feet, and he wants to use a scale drawing of 1 inch equals 1 foot, but his paper is only 8.5 inches by 11 inches wide, so he cannot fit a 10 by 12 inch drawing on that paper. So now he decides he's going to use a scale factor of 1/2. So he needs you to figure out what the new measurements will be. So basically, to find the new measurements, you will multiply the original numbers by the scale factor. So this course does use a lot of fractions, so hopefully you have a calculator with a fraction button. If not, you can always turn your decimals into, your fractions into decimals. So 1/2 is the same as 0.5. So you could multiply the room measurements by 0.5 to get the new image measurements. So do that on your own and then check your answers. And then of course you can see that you are correct. So we're ready to go to the next page. It gives you a new scenario. It gives you a new situation. You need to figure out the answer, make sure you understand how they got it. And now you're going to stretch your mind and you're going to do your own practice problems. So you figure out the answers on your own. And then of course, when you're done, you need to check your answers. It'll either give you confidence because you're getting the correct answers, or if you're not, it'll show you the work that each step, and you can figure out what you did right and which part you messed up on. Now the videos are very, very important. So this is your opportunity to watch a teacher teach this lesson using examples. He's going to write on his board, and he's going to talk to you and give you information that you definitely need to know. So don't skip any videos. The first time I checked the page today, the video wasn't working, which was very disappointing to me. You definitely want to watch the videos anytime you can. Now, obviously, it's working. And so hopefully, if you find one that doesn't work and you get out of the module and come back to it, hopefully it will work. Or I guess your second best option is to click on Show Text Version, and it'll tell you exactly everything that the teacher is saying. Although I really want you to watch the video if at all possible. All right, so as you go through the pages, practice everything, read everything. You're finally going to get to page 6 of 6. And then that's where you'll see your lesson objectives again. You want to read those, ask yourself, can I do these things? Have I learned the lesson that I should have learned today? Look at your summary. These are great for your notes, those of you that are taking notes and keeping your notebook. It even gives you a lesson review guide that you can print and keep those notes for yourself. And then you're ready for your formative assessment. If I have published it, which I haven't yet, but if I published it, you should be able to click here and go to that formative assessment. If not, if you click forward at this point, it's not going to take you to the formative assessment. It's going to take you to the next lesson. So if you ever get lost, always go back to your modules. Go back to your modules and go, okay, well, where was I? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm doing scale drawings. I just went through the lesson and now I'm ready to take my formative assessment. So going through modules can always help you get back to where you should be. If you completely forget what you're doing, go back to what am I doing this week, the module at the top. Go back and read my page and make sure this is the page for this week. Make sure you do everything that's on that list. Now, I do want to kind of give you guys a few minutes of instruction on scale drawings, and then tomorrow I'm actually going to have more practice problems, another presentation for you to go through about scale drawings and extra practice, just because I feel like this part of the lesson is important and it's a little bit confusing, and so I just want to make sure you understand it. So I'm going to pull up my couple of examples that I made. Uh-oh, I picked the wrong one. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to have to turn it on your slideshow presentation. And let's look at these problems. So number one says, so I've given you a rectangle. The original rectangle's dimensions are 18 inches by 14 inches. So the first question is, what is the area of this rectangle? So let me turn on my pen. Let's see, I'm going to use red. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do to find the area of the original rectangle is I'm going to multiply 14 inches by 8 inches. And what do I get? 14 inches times 8 inches is 112 squared inches. So 112 inches squared, okay? So now number two says, if I use a scale factor of 1/2, what are my new dimensions? So first of all, if I use a scale factor of less than 1, is my picture going to get bigger or smaller? So it's going to get smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and convert 1/4 to 0.25, and I'm going to multiply 8 by 0.25 and 14 times 0.25. So my new dimensions are 8 times 0.25 is 2 inches by 14 times 0.25 is 3.5. All right, so 2 inches by 3.5. So now it asks, what is the new factor? Excuse me, what is the new area? So now I'm finding an area with the dimensions of 2 and 3.5. So I'm going to multiply those two numbers together, and my new area is 7 inches squared. Okay, now is 7 25% of 112? No, it's a lot less than that, isn't it? So it's not as easy as just multiplying 112 by 0.25. You're going to get an answer that's way too big. So make sure you convert each of the dimensions first by your scale factor and then find the new area. All right, so going back to the original rectangle, 8 by 14, I want to now use a scale factor of 1.25 or 125%. So if I make my picture 125% of its original picture, is it going to get bigger or smaller? It's definitely going to get bigger, right? So now I'm multiplying 8 times 1.25, and I get 10. So 10 inches by 14 times 1.25 is 17.5. And now it wants to know what's the new area. So I multiply 17.5 by 10, and my area is 175 inches squared. Okay? All right, and then the bottom one I got straight from one of your, I think I got it from your module check. I don't know if we all get the same answer, same questions, but that's where this question came from. So we are given a picture of an image. So I know that this one's smaller than my original because it says it's a scale drawing of a kitchen. So obviously a kitchen is not 5 inches by 4 inches unless it's in a Barbie dream house. So I'm using a scale factor of 1 to 20. Now 1 to 20, that lets me know that the small number is 1 and I can see the big number is 20, which means this is the image or the scale drawing, and this is my actual dimensions of my kitchen, right? So when I can set up a proportion, so let me get rid of this. Uh-oh, sorry guys. So let me erase all of that. So I am going to make a proportion now. I need to engage my pen again. And I am going to set up a proportion using 1 to 20. 1 to 20 is equal to, so now I have to do both of these separate. So 5, is this my small picture or my big picture? So my big scale is actually the real kitchen. So I know the 5 has to go with my small number, correct? Because my kitchen is going to be a lot bigger than 5 inches. So I don't know what the actual length is yet for this wall. And then the second wall, I'm going to use 1 to 20 again. And then The second wall is 4. That represents how many actual feet. I'm not sure. So first thing I'm going to do is cross multiply. So 1 times x is x, and 5 times 20 is 100 inches. So the actual kitchen is 100 inches. The actual kitchen wall is 100 inches long. And what about the second one? I'm going to cross multiply. 1 times x is 1x, and 4 times 20 is 80 inches. So those are the new dimensions using my scale ratio, 1 to 20. Then the bottom question says, show your work, which I'm showing my work, to determine the area of the room in square feet. All right, so I figured out the answer in inches. So I need to first convert these inches into feet, and then to find the area of the room, I'm going to multiply my 2 new dimensions. Okay, well, I mean, the dimensions don't change, but I'm changing the unit. So how many inches are in 1 foot? So of course 12. So in my calculator, I'm dividing 10 by 12. So I get 8.33333, or 8 1/3 feet. So this wall is 8 1/3. If you ever have a repeating decimal, you don't want to use that repeating decimal. You want to use the fraction. So 0.33333 is 1/3. And then the other wall dimension, 80 divided by 12 inches in a foot, I get 6.66666. Well, I don't want to use a repeating decimal, so I'm going to use 6 2/3 feet. 6 2/3. So now I'm going to find the area of the room in feet. So now my math problem is 8 1/3 times 6 2/3. All right, how do we multiply mixed numbers? We can use this awesome calculator. Hopefully you guys get this calculator, the TI-30XS, and we're going to use our fraction button. So do you see the fraction button, N over D? Definitely want to use our fraction button. Or if we don't have a calculator, we're going to turn our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25 thirds, times 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2, 20 thirds. And we get 20 times 25 is 500 thirds. And 500 divided by 3 is 166.66666, or 0.7, or 166 2/3 feet squared. 166 2/3 feet squared. Woo! So that's a lot, right? So that's one of your math problems. So you have to show your work on that section and get your final answer as square feet, okay? All right, so I am going to stop sharing that. So like I said, scale factors, scale drawings can be a little tough. So hopefully those examples helped you. And like I said, I'm going to come up with some new problems so you can try a few more problems, and then I'm going to make a video so you can check your answers. All right. So we're going to Zoom this week, 7th grade. We're going to Zoom this morning at 11 o'clock. So Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock, you guys will just have gotten started, and I'll go over all this stuff with you guys and see if you have any questions. All right. I hope you have a great week. Get your work done, and I will talk to you soon. If you need my help, reach out to me and I will get back to you.